So on our second trip camping in our brand new 2020 Sunset Trail RK291, we had a problem with water leaking from the lines underneath the sink. So you can see here, this is how this whole thing started out. I have what everybody should have, a pan under the sink to catch the water which was leaking from this fitting here, the hot water fitting, which seemed to only occur when we took a shower or when the hot water heater kicked on. So I started just to tighten this, make sure it was good and tight, and or diagnose some other leak here. But when I went to turn on the hot water, this is what happened. Turned on the hot water to get it to kick on the hot water heater. No hot water. Got a problem. Let's go through the diagnosing of the hot water heater to figure out why I have no hot water. With the basics, make sure everything's on, which it is. Fuse box. I checked all the breakers. I actually individually checked all the fuses because they're not the best marked on them. So I individually checked all the fuses, all the breakers. One of the additional things you want to check to make sure that you have gas going to your hot water heater. So we got no fuel supply problem. Alright, let's talk basic anatomy and some basic tools you're going to need for this project. You're going to need multimeter so you can check some connections, and a simple wrench, 1/4 inch socket. So what we have here is, this is the exhaust for the gas side. A pressure valve, so this is important to check. Let's go like this. We clearly have water in our tank, so that's not the problem. You got the master board, the fuel regulator for the gas, which goes through this pipe, and then the igniter here lights it up. On this particular model you won't be able to see it, but down here there's the circuit for the thermostat and for the trigger for the gas regulator. This is a Dometic unit, which Dometic bought Atwood in the last couple of years. I've learned that now. So key things that you have to check. Had to check that don't let all the air out of here because you have to have an air gap in the tank, but you could do that just to quickly check to make sure you have water in your tank. You need to see if your igniter's working. When you flip on the switch inside, have somebody outside, and you'll hear this click 3 times before it resets. Now in our situation, this isn't going on at all. So let's talk RV world craziness. After some YouTubing, trying to figure out how to diagnose this, I really was quite sure that it was broken. So first we call Crossroads, the manufacturer of this brand new trailer. We've been on 2 trips, owned it for 2 months. They have no real kind of service. So their version of warranty is giving us the name of 3 local dealers. The closest one is an hour away, doesn't answer the phone, and then it gets absurd from there. And they wanted me to bring the trailer in so that they could take this board, which we tested. The board's getting powered. They think it's the master board that's a problem. They wanted them to take the board out, bench test the board, then send to them the board, and they would send a new one back. This is crazy because we only have like 5 days to turn this thing around and go on our next vacation. I can't bring the RV there, let it sit for a couple weeks, have them send the piece back to send another piece back, which we all know is kind of wrong. So I said to the manufacturer themselves, I said, listen, let me take the piece out, I'll send it to you, I will pay for a new piece at my expense, right? I'll pay for the new piece, I'll put it in, I'll send you the piece. If you see it and it's malfunctioning and should be warranted, you'll just reimburse me the money. Like, it's so simple and so straightforward. They're like, no, we can't do it that way. You got to take it to the dealer, have them bench test it, and then they have to order it. There is no way. Okay, so here's cray cray. This board, there is no way to reasonably buy a new board. I called Dometic, waited on hold for 2 hours at Dometic, spoke to a wonderful woman who helped me further diagnose it to confirm that this is what's going to be the problem. But you can't buy the board from them. They also were happy to give me 3 dealers a couple hours away, none of which who answer the phone, none of which who have it in stock. It's terrible. It is so unlike if I had a boat. I actually had a boat from a manufacturer that was out of business, and at any time if I needed a part, I could go on to a number of websites, punch in the part number I need, and in 24 hours have the part here. If my Chevy truck breaks, there are 10 sites that I could go on and say, oh, I need new brakes for this vehicle, here's the brakes, we'll send it to you. This little bad boy, no. The dealer's terrible. Somebody comment below. If you have a good parts service or dealer, comment below. I would love to know and add it to them, but I couldn't find it in my couple days of looking. It's just like this weird world where RV service is terrible. So, how did I get to here? I got the part out, diagnosed it with Dometic. They told me the part number to get. I'm Googling that part number. So there's no part that matches up for Dometic on the internet. I did find an Atwood with the same part number, which looked like the identical board, just a little different, but looked like the identical board. So I called the board manufacturer. I'm like, can I get this board? Is this the same board? No, we can't tell you. Here's another couple dealers who sell this stuff who won't answer your calls, or will answer them days later, or won't have it in stock. Cray cray. Anyway, so I did a ton of research. That Atwood board that I found on Amazon was essentially the same board, and let's swap it out now, flip the switch, and see if I'm gonna have hot water on this weekend's vacation. Just so we're clear, use the multimeter, checked a number of these connections with the instruction from the service from Dometic themselves. We found we had power going to the board, we had power going to the thermostat, but the rest of it wasn't triggered. So they decided it needed to be this board that needs to be replaced. So let's replace this board and see if it works. There are only 2 looms to disconnect. This is the power coming in from the trailer. This one has 2 clips on it, so you just take a big screwdriver head, just gently slide that clip open, and off it comes. This is for the internal controls of the unit. This is the connection for the igniter, which starts the fire. And then it's just a simple 1/4 inch screw. You could technically use a screwdriver on it, but I prefer wrenches. They're just much more precise and clean, and the way it should really be done. I hate to see a flathead screwdriver used on anything other than the flathead screwdriver being some sort of a pry bar. Not a fan. Out it comes. In goes the new unit. Here's our brand new unit from Amazon. Here's the original unit we're taking out. Exactly the same. One of the things they all ask you to check is this 2 amp fuse. So obviously, maybe it's not so obvious, so I'm telling everybody, I have turned off the power switches, turned off the fuse, just to make sure. I mean, it's only 12 volt power. It's not like I'm gonna electrocute myself, but I don't want to short out this brand new board that I'm putting in because I was too lazy to turn off the power. So the power is all off. Just firm, nothing crazy. You don't want to start stripping this out or breaking something. It just doesn't call for that. Just tight, call it a day. Let's reconnect the wires. This is the internal power controls, exterior control from my control panel in the RV. That's it. That's all there is to changing that board. Oh wait, not all. Gotta reconnect a little boot here so I can see what I'm doing. Reconnect the igniter. Let's go check it out. I'm gonna leave the camera on it for the first time I flip the switch, so if what I did screws up and explodes, I won't die. Yes! No cold showers. I really dislike cold showers. We have fixed the hot water heater. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please click the like button. It's important for the channel. If you think my information was useful, helpful, including what to look for and how your experience is going to be when you start RVing, trying to buy replacement parts for this equipment, because it definitely sucks, but still buy it. It is an amazing experience, a great way to travel. We're loving it, and we're going to have lots more cool adventures, tips and tricks as I go along and learn more things, and we'll see you on the road.